Hey guys, this is Mike Tarallo with Qlik. In this video, I would like to make you familiar with the QlikSense desktop interface. So to get started, when you start QlikSense desktop, after authenticating either against the Qlik website or possibly a Qlik enterprise server, you'll have the ability to see all of your apps within what's called the QlikSense desktop hub. And here's pretty much where you organize your particular analysis. Now, to create an app, you'll notice there's a button that says Create New App. You also have the ability to sort alphabetically, as well as change the view from list or tile. There is a navigation button here that allows you to go directly to another part of the product called the Developer Hub, which allows you to build extensions and create mashups and work with our APIs. A button to bring you to the online help, as well as a button to allow you to look at the version information of the software. There's a link here to bring you directly to QlikSense Cloud. And there's also the ability to search the particular apps that you might have within your hub. Then on the left, you have a button here that collapsed the navigation pane. Okay, and that's pretty much it right here. Now to create a new app, you just create new app, give it a name, and we'll call it Sales Analysis 2017, and click Create, and then we can click Open App. So now we're brought into the app overview screen. Okay, now there's a couple things that can be done in this particular screen. You can click on this button here to change the title, description. You can add a thumbnail if you wish to give the application some identity. You can also change settings in the app, such as changing the theme, changing the appearance of the direction of the text in apps if you want it from right to left or left to right for regions that support that type of appearance. Sheet title styling, so you can put, like, for example, a title header with an image as well as some text in that, and you can also change the alignment as well. And you click the same button again to collapse it. Now you have navigation buttons here to bring you to the data manager, the data load editor, as well as bring you back to the hub, as well as the same buttons I mentioned earlier. Now these buttons will change depending on what the screen shows. But basically, you're going to want to add data from files or sources, and you can do that through the data manager, or you can do that through the script editor. Script editors for more advanced users who are familiar with the data load script that is part of Qlik that allows you to do advanced transformations and data loading. But for most needs, we can go right into the data manager by clicking this button, and this will bring us to our data sources. Now you have a variety of different data sources here. QlikSense Desktop will let you connect to every data source you can think of. If we don't have it listed here, then you can use your own with the required driver through ODBC or OLADB. Okay, we could also browse files on our computer for the number of file formats that we support, or simply in this case here, I can just drag and drop a file, in this case an Excel file called Smart Customer that I have available. And you can see I have my products and my locations. Now I'm going to leave this by default, and we're just going to click on Add Data. And this will bring us into what's called Visual Data Preparation. So here's where I can now link my particular tables if they have something in common. So for example, if I hold my mouse button on products, you can see that I could possibly link these two together. Okay, this is an example of smart data profiling where it allows you to see the relationships between the data and makes a suggestion of how these tables can be linked or associated. Okay, so that was me manually linking them together. Okay, we don't have an association between these tables, and the indication of the orange is showing that to me. So let's add some more data. And I can go to my computer, I can go to the sample folder, and let's grab my categories this time. And let's add that data. Now watch what happens when I click on products again. Notice how categories turn green, indicating that this is most likely a successful match. So I can link these together manually, and you can see now I have a link between category ID and products and category ID and categories. Okay, I'm going to pull those apart just for another example. I'm going to add one more piece of data, and I'm going to go and get my smart orders. And we're going to add that data. Now if I choose orders, you can see that there's multiple matches here. highlighted in green, indicating a high possibility of a valid association. Well, if I'm not sure how these link, I can click on this little wizard button and it'll give me some recommendations, and then I have a chance to review those recommendations. In this case, we have our customers and orders, and we can see that customer number in customers is linked to customer order or customer ID in orders, indicating an example of smart data profiling. Here we're linked on product IDs in both tables, and here we're linked on category ID. Now you do have the opportunity to review the associations by selecting the link and clicking this button here. You also have the ability to select a new association if you know better than what the engine knows, and you could also build a custom association. Okay, if you select any of the tables, you can click on the edit button and it'll bring you into a view which will perform some additional data profiling where you can look at the distribution of the data, and you can perform some additional data transformation functions. Okay, for example, I can grab my sales figures and I can create, let's say, data buckets that will create a new attribute with values that I define, such as maybe I want to create small, medium, and large values for a particular value range or sales range. So here I can just click this and we can say this value is small and this range of values is medium and this range of values is large. And then we can create that bucket. And you can see it creates a new attribute or field called sales bucketed. I can just call this sales range. If I wanted to add a new calculated field, maybe I wanted to create a new field called profit, and I could use an expression. And there's a variety of different expressions that you can use for strings, dates, formatting, numeric. In this case here, I'm just going to do something as simple as sales minus cost. You can see it highlights the fields I'm working with, and then I click on create, and now I have a new column called profit. Now I could even perform additional transformations on that newly created column if I wanted to. And the last thing I'd like to show you in this is that let's say you have some additional data cleansing. We have additional options here that you can reorder, you can set null values, you can replace values. In this case, I'm just going to use the split function here and identifies the common character here, and it'll break this into two separate fields. Maybe this is a incorrect data cleansing value that got through into my data warehouse, let's say. I'm going to uncheck that field, and I'm just going to use status ID-2 and create that field. And now we have a new column that I can just call new status. And at this point here, I can go back to the table view if I wish. I can go back to the associations view, and now I could load my data and begin using my data model to create my visualizations. So at this point here, I can now click Edit the Sheet, and now I can begin creating my visualizations. And now we have our charts, custom objects, master items, and our fields. Along the top, again, navigation menus. Okay, you'll notice they'll change depending on the functionality where you're in. Exporting sheets to PDF files, duplicating sheets, deleting sheets. A panel that brings you directly to data stories or allows you to create a new story. A bookmark navigator that allows you to create the bookmarks and search bookmarks. And then your sheet navigator where you can actually create new sheets directly from here as well. And then you can move to new sheets by clicking on these arrow buttons. We have the bottom area that I also want to talk about, your variable editor. Okay, so you could add variables. And then you have what I call like productivity type options, cut, paste, duplicate, delete, and also redo and undo, as well as collapsing the properties pane. So let's just grab a simple bar chart, and I'm going to add a dimension, and we're just going to add category name. I'm going to add a measure, and I'm going to start searching for sales, and then select sales, and I'm going to choose my aggregate sum of sales. And that's your bar chart. Okay, now different charts can have multiple dimensions and measures, and not all of them can have more than one. Some can have more than one. The indication for that will be in the property panel. You can add alternative measures and alternative dimensions. That basically allows you to kind of cycle through. I'll do a quick one for you I'll just choose country as an alternative dimension. Okay, that means when I'm in an analysis view, if I wanted to look at this information by country instead of category name, I could quickly on the fly cycle between those different dimensions. Okay, and then we could also apply those changes. In this case, I'm just going to discard them. I have the ability to change sort orders. I could change the default sort orders. There's an add-on section for future features and capabilities. Right now, we can do certain data handling as well as reference lines. Data handling basically just means you can put in a calculated condition of when, let's say, you want to include 0 values or not. And reference lines allows you to add just a simple horizontal line. Maybe we're looking at a particular goal, and the reference line will be, I don't know, let's say 4 million. And we'll make it green. And then there's the appearance options. Now, these chart properties will change depending on the particular charts that's selected. Show titles, subtitle, footnote. Show details allows users to choose view details such as description, measures, and dimensions. Presentation options. Positioning of the scroll alignment. So for example, if there was a larger chart, you could have a scroll bar along the bottom with a mini chart, and you can have it start at the beginning or the end. Spacing, values on labels, and then colors and different axis properties. I'm not going to go into all of these because this video, once again, is just familiarizing you with where these properties are. There are a bunch of videos that go into this stuff in greater detail. There's plenty of information in the online help, the Qlik community, and YouTube. And reach out to me if you have any questions. Happy to hear from you. And thanks for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.